You're welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis show. My guests have been Kwekubako, Ace Kuma, Okujeto Ablakwa, and Afenyo Marking. And Afenyo Marking will conclude on that his take on the salary thing, and then we'll proceed on to the Bank of Ghana, where there's been some music there. But before we do that, you can pay for only the first minute of your call on MTN free after 1 and enjoy free Facebook for the rest of the day. And this is what MTN is offering you. All you have to do is dial *315# to sign on. Terms and conditions apply. MTN everywhere you go. Bank of Africa wants you to know that they have a new office head office located on the first floor, block A and B of the new Octagon building, close to the Mövenpick Hotel. This adds to 26 other branches that they have across the country. Visit them and enjoy the excellent customer service and in comfortable, serene ambience that they offer. If you're a farmer, you're a landscaper or a gardener, and your bother and headache has been poor seasonal yield or post-harvest losses, you need to get ACAP compost fertilizer. It's available in all leading agro input dealers and distributors across the country. You can call them 026 40 781. Now, Honorable Afenyo, conclude.
Well, to conclude, my view is that Honorable Akman Osajiman's statement must be understood within the general scope of the austerity measures the new board intended. And of course, he wasn't at the marketplace addressing people. He was before the president. And that was his maiden address, just after being sworn in. And it was an assurance he was given to the president, knowing how dear Cocoa Board and its activities was to the government and all that. So, well, if it's been misinterpreted in one way or the other, that's the price we pay as politicians sometimes when we mean well. But I do not think that he meant to say that he was going to cut people's salary, slash them, unilaterally and all that.
He didn't intend what he said.
No, I never said so. He couldn't have intended. He couldn't have intended the interpretation that is.
Which interpretation will you give to a person who says, "I'm going to slash salary"?
When your professor is heckling, you can't say anything.
Right.
And you get the backing of in-law and Sami. What can you say?
So I continue from you.
It's a difficult one.
On the issue of the Bank of Ghana. On the issue of the Bank of Ghana. People can't believe that the president says that he accepted the resignation with considerable regret because there are suspicions that the man was pushed, so to speak. Dr. Issahaku was pushed, and Addison is being brought in.
Suspicion is not limited to speculation. It must be founded on some fact, well-grounded, to constitute that. Why would we want to give a secondary meaning to everything? Mr. President has accepted somebody's resignation, and he says it is with regret, because as a Ghanaian, he expected him to continue. As a Ghanaian, the president felt strongly that at least the man had contributed his quota. It doesn't matter what political color the man had prior to his becoming a deputy governor or governor of the central bank. Again, in his own words, Dr. Issahaku had said that he was resigning for personal reasons. So it would be wrong for Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa to now do the political spin merely because...
You are preempting him.
No, I'm not
because
preempting.
Because he hasn't said anything.
I only mentioned his name by way of example.
Yet.
Okay.
No, it's just an example.
Right.
I would have mentioned any other name.
What an example.
I could have mentioned the name of Uncle Kweku.
Okay.
But if I had done so, I know I would have been in trouble anyway.
Okay.
Yes, I would have been in trouble.
Okay.
He could take his knees away. Yes. Okay. I couldn't have also mentioned my professor. Sami is my
soft target.
We share the same experience before. So I can easily mention him without trouble. But on a more serious note, Dr. Issahaku resigned. And he said he's an adult. He's a professional. He never said somebody had pushed him out. He never said he was under pressure from any quarter.
In the history of the bank, a central bank, are you aware of governors who were appointed and less than a year they decided to resign on their own?
I am aware that some governors had resigned whilst their tenure had not expired.
Okay.
And an example was Dr. Wampa.
That's right.
He resigned, didn't he?
He did.
The very government that appointed him, okay, within a period,
okay,
at a point he said, I'm tired, I can't do the work again.
Okay.
But you see, last year in the State of the Nation address, former President Mahama made a very serious statement in his State of the Nation address, page 32 of that document, that the Bank of Ghana had failed us. Failed us with respect to supervision of these microfinance institutions. And if you have the President of the Republic coming out publicly in a major statement to the nation saying that the bank has failed, who and who were his target? Or who and who was he referring to? The governor? Deputy 1 and 2, Samuel, what's the problem?
Oh, he only moved his body.
Okay.
No, but
we don't have time.
His two the top management, okay, were those that Mr. President was pointing fingers at.
Okay, so
that they had failed us.
So if it is Akufo-Addo or the NPP that has engineered this resignation, you are saying it is justified?
No.
Because that's what President Mahama wished.
I'm saying that nobody engineered anything.
Okay.
But I'm giving you a background.
Okay.
That we've had an occasion in this country where the president had questioned their capability, and those whose capability or competence was questioned included the governor who just resigned.
Thank you. Yes, sorry.
I'm sorry I'm going to disappoint Afenyo Maken.
There are people who say this man had been an NDC man before, so obviously he can't be a neutral person to work with.
This is a matter that is quite sensitive, and you have to approach it as such. Staying away from the everyday politics. We are confronted with the law. The Bank of Ghana governor position is an independent one. The Bank of Ghana is independent.
Just 2 minutes.
And so the governor does not come under the usual, political appointees regime, where when a new president if you look at the Presidential Transition Act, there's even, a list in the schedule attached that spells out clearly the appointees, the boards that can be dissolved upon electing a new president.
Professor Mills touched the board wrongly. Uncle Samuel Kudjeto went to court and got them disgraced.
Exactly. So even for the board, you have to be careful. It's an independent, and the act that establishes that emphasizes that. But you see, Dr. Nashiru himself has spoken and said that he resigned on personal grounds. I cannot sit here and speak to what I don't know, adduce any or conjure any evidence to the contrary. He has said it's personal.
Do you trust that?
I did try to reach him before today's program. I couldn't get through to him. So let's wait and see if there will be any other information.
We understand that there was the economic management team that he was supposed to, normally the Bank of Ghana governor ought to have been part of. This economic management team, led by the Vice President, Alhaji Baumia, he wasn't part of it.
And well,
he didn't feel fit in the circumstances.
I don't know the reason for that. But let me quickly add also that I have not been impressed with what Afenyo Maken has done. When somebody is down, you don't kick him. I mean, the person is out now, wanting to pass judgment on his tenure. It's not.
But his tenure will be scrutinized nonetheless. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I quoted what is in the public record.
Okay, guys.
To be fair to Dr. Nashiru, he did his due. If you look,
he said so.
I said so.
Okay, thank you. Can we hear from Osei now? Let's hear Osei now.
But this is important. This point is important. I think that Dr. Akoto says intervention in this matter does not help the government. And I think that these the current appointees,
Dr.
the
Osei had said earlier that he cannot work, that Issahaku cannot continue to be there.
Because he's
ideological differences.
Ideological difference and all of that. It doesn't help matters.
Now the Bank of Ghana Act says the governor has a 4-year term.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't stop a governor from saying that I am resigning. If the governor is a man of his word and substance, having risen to the high office of the governor of the Bank of Ghana, if he really wanted to throw a spanner in the works or to tell a story, he could have.
Yeah.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Guess what? He did not.
Yeah.
He just said, I'm leaving for personal reasons. It is left to us to speculate what those personal reasons were. Were they ideological differences? If indeed they were, I salute him. Because if I have ideological differences with you, I can't work for you. You probably want to drive the economy this way. I do not believe in it. The best thing for me to do, and what people of Ghana and many people have to learn, is that it is a time then to say, you know what, I call it quits.
Right.
End of story. For the government to say there's considerable regret, feel sad, rueful, that's a man of speaking. Maybe they would have wished that they could have worked with him longer, if assuming that there were no ideological differences. Because it's for the market, it's an interesting development that he was in the office barely a year, and then he changes. So I guess that the use of the words, nomenclature, choice of words, this is my view. If the gentleman had wanted to tell us what the reasons were, personal reasons could be anything. Could be the school your children go to. Maybe you want to move them to another school elsewhere. There are various things for it. I think that he's done his bit. Let him move on to other things. Let Ghana move on. Let the new governor come in, and let's see what he is going to do. And I'm quite conflicted.
Some say we might hear from him later after he has received what would be his package.
Then we'll hear from him
that under the circumstances, we will be paying him so much to get out of the office.
We may never know. We may never know what negotiations are taking place. What we have seen is a resignation.
Right.
There may be a package that is agreed behind the closed doors. We may never know. My point is that what else are we going to hear from him? He has told us the reasons are personal. We don't want to know. You told us it was personal. It's your personal business.
You can explain.
Keep it. No, who is asking? He could have told us now, but you don't. Okay, so you say it's personal. Then we assume that after some money is being paid to you, then now can say, okay, it's not really personal anymore. No, he won't do himself any good if he did that. I think that yes, it's been managed very well. It's been a smooth transition. Let's see what Dr.
Let's hear from Kweku. Let's hear from Kweku.
The government's response that
they're on point. They're on target.
No, that we regret and all. And yet, how swift they were with the replacement.
Yes,
okay.
no lacuna.
So it means, sorry,
so let's hear Kweku before we close. Let's hear Kweku before we close. Thank you, guys.
If you are divorcing your wife with somebody in mind, can you not express concern?
This is not fair to Kweku. Please. Yes.
Very swift.
I want to believe.
Very swift.
Yeah, it's a swift government.
The former governor is not
the
a coward.
President is really in a hurry.
You want to believe he's not
a coward?
A coward.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I would say. So
that's all you will say. You don't believe he's not a coward.
He's not a coward.
Okay.
You had something to say?
Well,
you would have said it.
Well, we're being told that because you issued an ultimatum, it was an appeal. You issued it on this show last week.
I think
a number of the Delta Force people have been arrested. You're excited about that?
I think that's unfair to them.
No, he's very powerful. I mean, we need to. I've always known he's powerful, but now, last week I was on the show. Now, and I know he met with the president last week.
Mischief.
So, you're powerful. You're powerful.
Oh yes, I did meet the president last week. It had nothing to do with this matter.
Okay.
And
I'm
even
sure
yesterday, Friday, I went to the Flagstaff House for the first time since 1965.
All right.
And I was impressed.
I've been there just once my whole life.
He's a powerful man.
Okay.
But what he's doing is mischief.
Okay.
but I believe it. I believe that what he said. If he brings any alternative, as Osei say, it won't be in his interest.
Right. Thank you very much. And on that one, the one of the biggest police guys in town I quoted earlier says something. He says, if you thought that vigilante activities constitute a problem now, then wait until it truly explodes. I call it Ghana's unexploded political ordinance, GUPO. And he made suggestions as to how to avoid
those guys,
this thing.
have they charged them?
We understand they are preparing them.
Yeah, they should
And
send
I'm
them to
quoting
court.
Chief Superintendent Dr. Benjamin Godzo. My guests on the show today have been Abdul Malik Kweku Bako, editor-in-chief of the New Proceeding Guide newspaper. Anan Ankuma is a lawyer. Alexander Kwamena Afenyo Marking is also a lawyer and MP Efutu and member Public Accounts Committee, Defense and Interior Committees. Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa is MP North Tong and ranking member Foreign Affairs Committees of Parliament. Of course, former Deputy Education Minister. On the phone, we spoke to Mahama Ayaraga, MP for Boku Central. And I'm Samson Ladi Ayanini. As always, my outfit is paid for by Latida. They did it. It's nice. You don't like it? Right.
Council, very nice.
Council for who? Okay, have a good afternoon. The news is up next.
Nice.